Hi, welcome to Have Yarn Creations. I'm Erin and it is May the 4th, 2022. May the 4th be with you. Okay, so I normally don't have a video unless I have a lot to show you, and I don't have a ton to show you today, but I wanted to point something out that, well, the point is that not even the best crocheters, and I don't put myself up there, and designers often have struggles, often have when they're trying something new, will have to start and restart and frog things. If you are new to crochet, frogging is ripping it out, rip it, rip it, rip it. So anyway, so don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to try something different. That's the beauty of crochet, because it's really easy if you don't have a specialty yarn, I put it that way. It's really pretty easy to pull it out. So on that note, I wanted to bring up, I have not really ever tried filet crochet. So, silly me. I mean, after what? Almost 40 years of crocheting, and that's when I really learned. Really been doing it for the past 20 years or a little more of avid crocheting. I've really never known, I never really did anything with filet crochet. Now, you have to understand, if you're new to crochet, filet crochet is where you kind of skip stitches. You don't really skip, and you do a chain stitch instead of doing a stitch. Excuse me. And it leaves gaps so that you can create, using those gaps, you create a picture, or there's different kinds. Call of the Midwife is where you have intentional gaps left in the thing. And in that one, Call of the Midwife, I think it's kind of shaped like a tease or something like that. There is other ones that there's a butterfly, there's a dragonfly, there's a whole bunch of different filet crochets that you can do. So, ambitious me, I decided I'm going to try and do one of my own design. So I had some grid paper, and I printed off the picture of it on my grid paper, and then I reprinted it because it was smaller, and I reprinted it and made it bigger. And I was attempting to do, it's kind of a chrysanthemum, and I'll show you the bottom half. You can see that what I was trying to do. The problem with this is, in this particular pattern, is I'm almost halfway through. As you can see, I've highlighted it. I'm almost halfway through. And it's not possible to figure out what I'm doing. And it has nothing to do with the technique. Here's the halfway point, and I don't know if I can do it this way. Here, let me try to give you a little, see? There's no way you're going to make out what that is. It's just too busy. Now, it has nothing to do with my ability to crochet. It has nothing to do with, I don't know, the yarn that I'm using, the technique that I'm using. It's simply too busy of a pattern to try and attempt to get the pattern off, to get it to understand what it is. So I'm going with a different pattern, and I will show that to you at another time, probably later this week if I get a chance. My game plan, and yeah, you can see here, I'm gonna take out this stitch marker, and here I go, rip it, rip it, rip it, and you can see, here it comes. It's really easy to do if you just pull. And I'll wind that all back up and reuse it. So, now, sometimes your specialty yarns, such as the latte cakes from the mandala latte cakes, they've got they have a fuzz on them that gets tangled up. And it's very difficult unless you're using a really big, large needle, such as a J hook. It's really hard to pull those stitches out because they get all tangled up. And your faux yarns. But in particularly anything that's got a bit of a fuzz to it, it's going to be difficult to pull it out. That yarn that I'm using is a Caron Cakes, but it's a cotton cake, which is only about 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. And I was attempting to make a blouse for myself, but I have another pattern that I have another design that I'm creating, and we'll see what I can do about that. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring it to your attention is I know that I was talking to you about my that I'm following it's Repeat Crafter Me Crochet. She's on Facebook, and she's got her own blog. She's doing it's hashtag 2022 gnome project, where she's designing a different gnome Graphgan portion of the Graphgan for every month, and people are using it to do different things. And so she does two. She does a boy and a girl gnome for that month, and this is May's boy, and I'm going to be working on him just as soon as I get this last project done that I'm going to show you. So, as most of you know, this week, first week of May for this year, is Teacher Appreciation Week. And I have a lot of bukus of teachers for my son that's disabled. And my other son is still in high school. He's a junior, and he's not interested in me doing anything for his teachers. But for my middle son, who's disabled and stuff, I want them to know just how much I appreciate them. So I like to do little something, and I've seen postings where people have done things for kids in their child's classes for different, for Valentine's Day or stuff like that. Well, this is what I'm making a cup cozy for, like for coffee cups or any kind of glass for the teachers. And so I'm doing a variety of things, and I'm using 100% cotton. The majority of them are, I dropped it. 1 second. Are Lily Sugar and Cream, I should say, which is 100% cotton and suggested for a 4mm hook. I believe. No, a 5mm hook, which I happen to be using. I like to use my H hook. It's probably my favorite. I kind of switch between H and J depending on what yarn I'm doing and how I want it to fall, or the drape of the project. So I'm doing a whole bunch of different ones. And I have a whole lot of stuff. All of these except for one, I've got to take out the thing. I've got to weave in my ends. So let me show you some different of the colors that I'm doing. This one is, you can't really tell really well, it's not purple, that's a blue. And this one is a variegated blue. This is the purple. Can you see the difference? If I put the blue up, you can kind of see that's blue, and it's a denim blue. And then here's a purple. I have the variegateds, most of what I have is long striped variegated. Not really variegated, it's striped. This is a green and white. And I've got, and this is the first one I did. This is it's kind of a salmon and creams, and then it goes to a brown. And a peach. And then this one's a variegated, and well, it's a tweed, and it's kind of a tan, and it's got, let me see if I can get it in there, it's got pink and blue and purple flecks in it. So the last three that I'm going to show you, this one is not a long stripe variegated, but it is it's a little bit longer than some of them, and it's an orange and yellow and white. It's, I guess you'd say it's two different shades of orange and a yellow on a white. And then this one is just, it's a golden yellow and white. And this last one I'm going to show you, I have finished it off. And I'm going to make some others. I got to make red ones, and I think I've got a solid yellow I think I'm going to make. This is the finished one. Now let me show you a little bit about it, and I'll tell you about it now. This is, let me turn this a little bit away from the light so you can see a little bit better. Maybe the light, there we go. This one is a variegated, and it's in pastels and a rainbow pastel. So you can see that. Okay. And what I did is, this is, I started with a chain of 15, and then I did half double crochets across. So I had 14 half double crochets, because you always give yourself a chain up. And so I did 14 half double crochets wide, okay, as I go across. And then I did 20 rows. And then what I did, when I do these, I do one row of single crochet after I finish. That's really bad. There we go. One row of single crochet, and I turn the corner, and then I was going actually this way, because I do, oh my gosh, a row of single crochet, you can see that, and then I do one row of single crochet around on the edge, and then I do a row of a single crochet and then two single crochet together, so you end up doing, it's like doing one, it's a gathering stitch. You slip through and you pull out a loop, you go to the next hole, slip the next stitch, you pull through a loop, and then you do a loop through the 3 loops, so it looks kind of like a half double crochet, but it's drawing it together. And so I did that so that you get a little bit of gather down here. Now at the top, see if you can see, I put a pink button, and this is a hair tie, so you can see that's a hair tie that I just looped through. And so if you want to, you can move that hair tie, like if it's not tight enough for your cups, you can move that hair tie over and make it tighter. Okay, so that's what I'm doing for my son's class. I'm making these, and then you have a hole for your handle if it's a coffee mug. So that's what I am working on. I hope you enjoyed what I was talking about. Please feel free, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe, and I will let you know more of things that are going on. And have a good day, be safe, and if you have yarn, be creative.